Welcome back to Certified Beef. Yours truly is back. Congratulations to the listeners. They got what they wanted. But I am back. Took a little break. Kind of just like enjoying summer a little bit. Fucking getting hurt at work. All the stupid shit. But yeah, I'm back to do a little breakdown of the NBA playoffs with Brandon here.
Listeners
I didn't really
just could not
watch.
stand another week of just me. So
Yeah, so
emails came flooding in.
Oh yeah, I bet they did. But no, I'm just here to like recap and give our thoughts about the playoffs. But I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna have the greatest insights on this because I kind of missed a lot of the playoffs this year.
And this happened a long time ago.
Well, yeah, I mean it was like not even a week ago, but
No, but like the first round was over a month ago.
yeah, that's how all these playoffs work.
I know. It's besides the Timberwolves, most of these are kind of forgetting. So,
Oh, easily.
but yeah, let's get into it. We'll be skipping over some. We'll briefly mention the series that are not important. Like the first one, the 1-8 matchup in the East, Miami versus Atlanta. Miami wins the series 4-1. I think this is the series that Trae Young sucked. That's all there is to it. Heat are just a lot better team, so yeah. Is that all from you two, Jack?
Oh yeah, that series was awesome. It was cool. I guess I didn't watch it, so kind of a lame series. It was expected.
Yep. Disappointing end to the Hawks season after they made that magical run last year to the Eastern Conference Finals. This year, barely making it through the play-in games.
I mean, it doesn't help when you don't have your second best player, but
John Collins, was he out?
yeah, he was out. He didn't play.
You sure their second best player isn't Red Velvet?
Kevin Herter?
Yeah.
No,
I'm just playing. Behind John Collins, it's probably DeAndre Hunter or Clint Capella.
they're
One
what?
of those. Their third best player is either Clint Capella or DeAndre Hunter, probably.
Yeah, I don't think they really have a third best player. They just
No.
kept Trey and John Collins.
Yeah, but now John Collins might be on the move soon. Who knows? All right. Next series, Philadelphia, Toronto, 4-5. Philly wins the series 4-2. I know that the Sixers had a stranglehold on the series because they were up 3-0, I'm pretty sure. And then Toronto came back 1-2 straight. And then Philly closed it out in 6.
Didn't Embiid get hurt in this series?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he fractured his eye socket with when they were up 17 or so. That's right.
Yeah, so I mean this series it should have just been over 4-0, but you lose your best player, you're gonna have a little fight left in them. But this series was pretty much the what am I looking for? What am I
Tyrese
looking for?
Maxey show.
Yeah, the Tyrese Maxey breakout and showing what he's got. Looks like 76ers got themselves a very good piece there. Honestly, probably could be their top score. Like him and Embiid probably could be the top scorer because it looks like James Harden is kind of turning into like a guy that's gonna maybe give you a couple clutch buckets. He's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like CP3, more of a ball dominant where you're dishing out assists and stuff. Because Harden of like Houston Harden is like nowhere to be seen anymore. That's not a thing anymore. He's more of a pass first guy. It seemed like he's not chucking up as many shots as he did back in Houston. So
Houston Harden was visible for the first 5 games he was in Philly, and that just fizzled out after that. Embiid getting hurt obviously had ramifications for the rest of the playoffs. So they probably could have made a deeper run if he didn't get hurt, but never know now. I mean, I think Doc Rivers is still kind of on the hot seat this year, isn't he? If they don't do good.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for him not to be.
Still a good coach, but I think he has one more team in him, and then he's retiring. That's my guess. You heard it here first. All right. Next series. I'm assuming you didn't have any more thoughts on that one.
Nope.
All right. Milwaukee, Chicago. Bucks win 4-1. This one was another blowout series, obviously. The Bucks are... The Bulls could have been a lot higher seed if Lonzo didn't get hurt, even if Caruso didn't get hurt.
Yeah, no, that team was crucified by injuries.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. What happened in their season?
They ended up where they were. I still think they should have put up more of a fight than just taking one game. Like, I think they won game 3. And that was it.
No, they won game 1, and that was pretty much it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, that team wasn't that. They I think it was their first year together as that core piece, and I don't think they had the chemistry and everything enough to make it anywhere. So
I just think
makes sense
that DeMar could have carried them for another win, get some points from Vucevic.
Yeah, DeMar was like that this year, but he's never really been like a guy that's going to carry the load. And
he did for a lot of the season.
Well, yeah, but normally he's not. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it by himself in the playoffs without anyone else, because he really didn't have any help in the playoffs.
No.
In this first round.
I know a lot of my Iowa friends were sad after that happened, but it's like, oh, well, what do you expect? It's the Bucks. Still got Giannis. Deer District be popping, though. Especially on Friday at noon.
No.
That's the time to go. First-hand experience, hit up Insomnia cookies. Pro tip, they don't got deluxe cookies right after they open. All right, enough rambling about that. Final series. First, I guess Eastern quarterfinal series is the 2-seed Celtics versus 7-seed Nets, and Boston sweeps the series 4-0.
Yeah, just pretty much defense was a big factor in this, and defense wins championships, and Jason Tatum somewhat emerged as a star in this series.
Well, the Nets are just pretty much shamble of an organization right now.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it doesn't help when your team is 2 superstars and then you surround them with veteran minimum guys. That's not going to do anything for you.
Did Ben Simmons play the series? Because I kind of forgot. No. He didn't even play this year, did he?
No, he didn't.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Boston. This is a Nets team that definitely had championship aspirations even after the Harden-Simmons deal. Like, he got good pieces back with Seth Curry and stuff like that, but just couldn't find a way to get it done. Couldn't even win a game, which is sad. I think if you're a playoff team, you got to at least put one on the board. I feel like then you've had at least a respectable season.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're going to go all that way, there's no... And just go all that way just to lose, that's... Might as well just miss the playoffs and got a better draft pick.
Exactly.
All right. Heading to the West. Got number 1 Phoenix versus number 8 Pelicans. And Phoenix wins a closer series than we all thought it would be, 4-2.
Yeah, this was pretty much Phoenix. They made this series that long by themselves. Pelicans aren't that good of a team.
And Brandon Ingram, I would say they had something.
They didn't play. No, they didn't play that. They did not play that impressive, honestly.
I think they blew them out one game. That was their best performance by far.
Yeah, it was more the Suns were beating themselves. It doesn't help when you have your best player get injured halfway through the series, and then he has to come back. But no, that series was literally just the Suns kicking themselves.
Yeah, like I said, I think the Pelicans won one game by blowout, and the other, maybe both games were by blowout, but then Phoenix was just kind of shut the door. Yeah, not really too important. Like, the outcome was what we expected, that Phoenix would move on. So nothing really out of the ordinary besides them not sweeping or winning in 5. Next series was a series that we thought would be a lot closer, and it wasn't. It was the Dallas Mavericks versus the Utah Jazz, and Dallas won 4-2 in 6.
Yeah. I guess the biggest thing was that the Mavericks were like, that team offensively was so dominant, and like they had enough like guts to get through the first couple games or whatever without Luka, and then it was pretty much just a cakewalk from there when they got Luka. Pretty much took stranglehold of the series. I mean, it does help when your best player is on the floor, and him missing the first couple games. I mean, the fact that the Mavericks were in the first couple games without Luka was honestly impressive. And then I don't know, it seems like the Jazz needs something more than just Donovan Mitchell. You got an aging Mike Conley who doesn't show up, is getting paid a shit ton of money. You got Bojan Bogdanovic. He had a good game in there. He's kind of just a role player, but
yeah, he's an underrated player, but he's not the guy you should lean on.
Rudy Gobert is just like
he's getting traded. There's no way he doesn't.
He's the best. Like he's like got to be one of the best players that doesn't score, because he's getting paid a shit ton of money to not score at all, and
leads leagues and dunks out almost every year. It's either him or like Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah, but he only averages like 15 points a game, and if you're paying a guy $30 million a year,
you best be getting a double-double on blocks every night.
No, he's getting double-double easily with rebounds, but you shouldn't be getting paid that much for his role. No chance. That's just what I feel. But I don't know. It kind of a boring series. Just
yeah. Utah kind of beat themselves because didn't they blow like multiple like 15+ point leads, like halftime?
Yeah, I think they
did
one
like
time. I don't know, something like that. I don't remember the series that well.
And when you're facing a team that doesn't have probably a top 5 player in the NBA, you should close the door when you got the opportunity, not let Luka have the chance to come back and actually do damage or anything like that. Like this should have been a 4-1 series win in favor of the Jazz, and they just couldn't do it. They had most of the guys healthy, but their team is mostly just role players, and that's not what you can have. You got Donovan Mitchell, and then Rudy Gobert does his thing on the defensive end. And then, like you said, Mike Conley getting paid lots of money. Doesn't really show up. Bojan, he just shoots threes, it seems like. What team is Joe Ingles on now? Or was he hurt the entire time?
Yeah, he is with the Trailblazers.
That's right. He got traded. Let's see. Jordan Clarkson is getting paid a lot of money to sit on the bench for a decent amount of the game, being 6th man. Yeah, it seems like the Jazz they're another team that's going to go down the drain here very soon. Like with Quinn Snyder leaving and seeming like that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert cannot exist together anymore. Something's going to shake that team up, and I think it's not going to be for the better. Also, quick Jersey rant. What do you think? The rebrand.
I like it, but I don't like the basic rec jersey looking ones. I don't really like those, but everything.
So you like the
good.
throwback purples, but not their actual jerseys.
Yeah, no, the throwback purples are good.
Yep. That's exactly my thoughts. They need to bring the purple back full time. Get rid of the highlighters. I don't mind the yellow one as much, honestly. But get rid of the side panels, and it's whatever. It's whatever. All right. I'm assuming this is the team you probably have a gripe with. But Golden State, Denver, first round. Am I right? Is that the team?
Who do I have a gripe with?
Is it Golden State?
Yeah, I fucking hate them.
Okay. They win 4-1. Disappointing series for Denver, to say the least.
Jokic can't do everything by himself. He literally was dying out there. and the
Yeah.
Warriors were fully healthy, and it shows. Yeah, Jokic cannot do anything by himself. That's why they're a 6 seed. They would be, if he had help, they would be a top 3 seed in the West.
Yeah, Jamal Murray got hurt, so can't really do too much there.
He has no chance. They have like zero chance of doing anything in the playoffs.
They could have kept Bol, but they let him go.
Okay, that didn't make a difference at all.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't on the team.
He doesn't make a difference. He doesn't even play where he is.
I don't even remember where he is. I think he's on Boston. I'm not positive though. Is he?
He's with the Magic, yeah.
He's with somebody. He's in the league. He's in the G League. That's all. He's probably hanging out with Taco Fall. But yeah, the Warriors dominated. Nuggets kind of garbage. Get Jokic some help. Not really, because I don't want to see the Nuggets win, but get Jokic some help and they'll make a deep playoff run. It's simple as that. Because it's not like, I don't think they're an awful defensive team at all. It's just that they can't score.
Well, Jokic is a horrible defender.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not good. Because he has to focus all on offense, so he doesn't have any defense.
I see what you're saying.
Like, I understand, like, he's really good, and he's like, but I don't think you can win with a center as your, like, you can win with the center as your best player nowadays, but you have to have a very good second option. There's no chance. Like, if the Nuggets don't get anyone better besides Jokic, they have no chance of winning the title.
Do you think they move on farther if they have Jamal Murray for the series?
No, they still get beat.
Right.
Jamal Murray is like not the best second option anyways. He's
a solid second option, but there's better.
He's a very what is it? Very inconsistent. He can have bad nights and he can have very good nights. Like, look at that series against.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what?
Continue.
I think like last year, didn't they come back from 3-1 against the Jazz or whatever in the bubble?
I think so, because didn't they lose to the Clippers in the next round, and then
they beat them.
No, the Clippers made it to the final, the Eastern.
No, the Clippers choked the 3-1 also. Yeah, it was the Nuggets. But yes, that, like, Jamal Murray in those games where he shows up half the time, and that's why they won 4-3 in those series, because he had a 50 piece in the bubble or whatever. But yeah, no. Oh yeah, that was 2 years ago, my bad. Yeah. But yeah, no, Jamal Murray is just very inconsistent, and that doesn't help. And he wasn't even in this series, and Michael Porter Jr. didn't even play either. So
Michael Porter Jr., he's probably one of the most overrated prospects of all time. He's got to be. Like,
he's good though. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's so good, but he just never plays. Didn't he get like an almost max contract like last year?
Yeah. He got a really big extension. The problem with him is that he has that back problem, and he just can't. I don't think he'll ever be able to get out of it because it's just constantly there.
Like, he probably honestly needs to take like a year, just get back surgery.
But that's what he did. He didn't even play his rookie year.
I know, and it still didn't help. So do it again.
He's wasting his career. Like, he'll be back this year. Like, his career is kind of like wavering based off his injuries.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of that money is probably guaranteed. So like he's making it rich right now. He's making.
I think NBA contracts are fully guaranteed.
You think they are?
I'm pretty sure they are. Because you never hear anything about like guaranteed money besides the NFL.
That's MLB. I'm pretty sure.
I guess MLB, yeah. But I'm pretty sure the NBA is fully guaranteed money.
I think you're right. But yeah, he's living the high life, sitting on the bench, courtside seats every game, chilling in streetwear, watching your best friends play some hoops, getting paid like 183 mil. It's the life, man.
Mm-hmm.
Trade. No, never mind. All right, done with that one.
Yep.
All right, last matchup of the first round, the round that matters most, or the series that matters the most to us. Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Memphis wins 4-2. Let me hear your thoughts here, Jack.
I mean, honestly, it was a pretty exciting series. Honestly, I didn't expect us to win the series just because our lineup has no playoff experience. I mean,
We
and it
always
showed.
played awful against Memphis for whatever reason.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't matter. We still took 2 games for them. Could
Right.
have been up 3-1.
We could have
in
won the series.
We should have won the series.
We should have
but
won the series.
I think our lack of what is it called? What am I looking for? Lack of
Consistency.
experience and consistency, I guess. But I'd say the more lack of experience really killed us in this series. I mean, you could say the same thing for Memphis, but I don't know. They when you have a guy like Ja Morant, though, that is totally different. And then you have Desmond Bain, a guy that seemed like nothing would, a guy that that doesn't phase him at all. Nothing phased him in that series.
Except for getting called for fouls. That was the only thing.
Yeah, Ja Morant, he's like a top 10 player in the league. That is a big difference, even for a team that has very little playoff experience like the Grizzlies, who are new to the scene. When you have a top 10 guy that is just got that it factor, Ja has that it factor that I don't think anyone on the Timberwolves has right now. Anthony Edwards could be making his way there, but he's going to. It's also his second year. Ja's got a couple years in the league. Yeah. But because if you think, like, I'm telling you right now, no team that has little playoff experience is going to choke 2 25-point leads in the same game. No chance.
Right.
They are going to put the game away. And the Timberwolves, they just let them hang. And I don't think it was a coaching problem. I don't think it was, because Chris Finch is like a very good reason why we were even in this scenario, because you look at our roster. Yes, we do have Anthony Edwards. He's still a second-year guy, so you still don't know what you're getting with him. He still hasn't reached his full potential.
Solid bench.
And then our bench does help. And then you got Cat, who's top 3 center, top 5 center, and then D'Lo. I guess he's kind of not
there.
Great. He's all right, but our bench was good. But honestly, Patrick Beverley was like the biggest thing to like the team this year. Like he was the glue. Because our team defensively, when he's on the floor, is actually somewhat decent. And then when he's off the floor or like not a part of the game at all, like if he's on the bench, they're still going to be fine because he's bringing that intensity off the bench. But if he's not even a factor in the game at all, our defense is atrocious. Mm-hmm. Like he brings the intensity that we need for the defense, which honestly is kind of why we made it this far. But I don't know. It wasn't I won't even say it was like disappointing that we lost this series, just because we haven't been there in a while, and it's not like we got swept or we gentleman's sweep. We took 2 games. We took game 1 in Memphis, and there was a couple games we probably should have won. I mean, we lost on a buzzer beater, but I don't know. There's just little things that if we had that experience, it may be a different story, and we could have been in the second round. But this is a good learning experience, I think, for the Timberwolves. And next year, if they have like a good foundation of players, like they don't have a bunch of rotating pieces, you get that good foundation, they're gonna probably be a better team than they were this year, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree with you. That wasn't super disappointing that we lost. It still hurt quite a bit because I think we could have played the Warriors. I think we could have taken 2 from the Warriors, because for some reason the Warriors are always a team we play well, no matter how bad we are and how good they are. So I think we could have done that. Yeah, the lead slipping away was awful, but I think, let's see, I'll start with the Memphis side. Taylor Jenkins is a really good coach. Who won Coach of the Year this year?
I think it was him. Wasn't it the Phoenix coach?
Might have been. I'm not too positive, but he's a good coach. I did not know who that man was until he signed with them. Neither did I know who Chris Finch was until he signed with us. Jaren Jackson Jr. was completely ass in this entire series. I think we can agree on that. I think he had 1 good game, but otherwise he was spending most of both halves on the bench in foul trouble. And like he He's definitely your second best player behind Ja, and we took him completely out of the series. No doubt about
No,
that.
Desmond Bain is better than Jaren Jackson.
No, normally I would say Jaren is better.
No, it's definitely Desmond Bain. He was the second best player for them all year.
Was
Jaren
he?
Jackson Jr. was there defensively. He wasn't there offensively.
Yeah, he was amazing defensively, but I think like he's still a guy that should put up almost 20 a night. I think because I mean he's a good player. It was interesting to see that Taylor Jenkins rolled with Xavier Tillman in most of the games besides Steven Adams, because I don't think Steven Adams even played games 3 through 6, did he?
I don't know. He's too slow. He couldn't keep up with Carl is the big thing.
Right. So, and he would get into foul trouble pretty early. So he just cut his losses and had Steven sit. I know this may be a hot take. I'll maybe put in the thing or whatever. But Ja's got to be one of the most overrated players in the league right now. I'm still not saying that he's not like top 15 or whatever. But it just pisses me off when he falls on his own and he gets like 2 free throws out of it.
I wouldn't say he's overrated. He gets his way a lot.
But also, like, if he's not overrated, then why is his team so good without him?
That's a lot of teams, though. That's coaching.
Is it though? Like,
yeah, but the thing is that you can't. The thing is, I understand when people say that, but it's like the Michael Jordan thing. When their team was that good, they were nowhere close to winning a championship without him, even though they were almost there. They had the same record. You still have that player, and that I don't think that makes him overrated because the Grizzlies would not win that series without Ja.
No, I agree.
So then they're really not that much better than with them. It also
I'm just saying their regular season record was like bloated. Like it was so.
Yeah, but you also have to see what they're. You also have to look at what teams they're playing. They could be playing bums.
Well, they still like Ja was out for like half the year, wasn't he? Almost half the year. Maybe at least a third.
Maybe yeah, but still, they still probably aren't playing the best teams.
Oh, they still finished with the second best record in the league.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them overrated. Like, just because they finish good and their record's good.
I think it brings down his value a little bit. Maybe it doesn't make him exactly overrated, but I think it brings down his value a little bit.
But you also have to look at the teams he's playing, because even if they're playing like a good team in the NBA, good teams, their top guys sit a lot of times. So you got to look at like the team aspect of it, who they're playing. Plus, like, that's like what sometimes good teams are. Like, good teams, like, they have a deep bench. They have 2 good, solid guys. Dylan Brooks is good. They have Desmond Bain. So if you guys have two guys that put up 20 points even without Ja, you're gonna have a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that it really made a difference that Ja was in or out, because it depends on who they're playing. They could have been playing 10 games. They could have been playing 7 of the top bottom feeders of the league. So like, it's hard to put a lot of capital into the fact that if he was out for those games, that he made a big difference that he was in or out. It's hard to say that, because the thing is like, a playoff series is way different than the regular season, because
that's true.
If they're without Ja, they don't win this series.
No, I agree with that.
You can't, like, that's what the regular season is so much different, because teams play a lot harder also in the playoffs too. So it's totally different than the regular season.
I understand what you're saying, but I also think another reason why I say he's overrated is because we just get so much Ja Morant like stimulation from like social media and stuff like that. Like
that's anyone though.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You think Ja Morant gets the most out of anyone?
I think him and LeBron are probably like the top, like 2 of the top 5 on like SportsCenter or House of Highlights or whatever. Because
I mean, yeah, if you're dunking on guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like in 4 months or 5 months when the NBA season starts back up again, we'll probably see on this date Ja Morant almost dunked on Kevin Love. Like
they don't show that anymore.
Finish the dunk.
There's no point of they're not going to show that anymore. That was
I
only a
wouldn't put
thing
it
when it
past
happened.
Sports Center. I would not put it past them.
No, they're not going to do that.
I don't know. It seemed to have stooped to new lows sometimes. But like, yeah, I'm gonna die on this hill, but that dunk on Malik Beasley should have been a foul if Ant's dunk on that Miami guy was a foul, like offensive foul. Because it looked like Ja did more of a push off than Ant did.
It's the player.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Ant doesn't get that call because he's not as well known and flashy as Ja Morant is. So
Yeah, he's not a top guy, so he's not going to get as much, like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but he's not going to get the. Yeah, but he's not going to get all the calls. He's not going to have anything going his favor at all, because that's just kind of how the league works.
Yeah, man, that's
how all sports work. Yeah,
but like also an underlining thing in this series was how good Tyus Jones is at being like unrecognizable, like as a player. Like he is severely underrated. Like, yeah, he's not gonna get you 20, 25 points a game or anything. Comes off the bench, but his passes are so crisp. He is such a good assist to turnover ratio guy.
Best all time.
Yeah. Like he's just been a Timberwolf killer ever since he left for Memphis, and sad to see, but he's doing a very good job there.
He literally iced the series.
He did. And I think flipping to Minnesota, I think we would have won this series if D'Lo showed up at all. The clock never struck D'Lo time, I guess. It didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not gonna have three. I mean, the thing is I think people were like, obviously the games where he puts up 5 points, that's bad. But if he puts up 15 points and Ant and Cat still do their thing, you can't be like, oh, he doesn't show up. That dude's not gonna get enough touches.
That's fine, but it just seems like his bad games outweigh his good games. He's got that warm water flowing through his veins that sometimes.
I still think that people overlook that, and you're like, because look at how much shots Ant's taking. Look at how much shots Cat's taking. You got to feed. They have to get their touches, and like they're getting touches more than D'Lo, and that's just kind of how it started to go at the end of the season. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, D'Lo didn't play great, but you got to look at how many shots he's actually taking. If he's taking 8 shots and he only scores 10 points, that's 7 points.
That's pretty.
He didn't shoot that much this series. Is the thing,
no.
And people thought that he was handling, like he handled the ball a little bit, but like he was primarily passing the ball, and that's kind of like what people like I don't think realize is that D'Lo didn't show up, but he also didn't get that much touches,
right?
Scoring opportunities.
But then also like that point, like if he is just gonna be a pass first guard, then I'd rather have a different guy out there. You know, I'm like I like D'Lo for shooting and stuff like that, but like if we had like a Mike Conley, and he's just focused on dishing the ball instead of like, oh, maybe this possession I'm gonna create my own shot, then maybe it would be different. Also,
I think
go for it.
Ahead. No, go ahead.
I think the series would have been a lot different if Cat was at all consistent, because he was either putting up 40 or he's putting up 10 and fouling out by the third quarter.
Yeah, that's the experience right there. But I think D'Lo, I don't think they want him to be a pass first guy, I think that's why they're looking to trade him, because he's kind of in the position where he has to be a pass first guy, and that's just not his game. Because if anything, he's definitely the third option on this team now, and it's easy to say that he's definitely the third option. So you can't be paying this guy this amount of money to be a third option, and that's kind of like why it's not even really his fault. It's just that it's kind of how just like the
Ant has gotten too good too quickly for him is kind of the problem.
I really don't think that big threes work in the NBA as much as you would think. Like now, I mean, it worked with like the Warriors and like the Heat, but to an extent, it's gonna get to the point where like if you don't have a deep bench and you just have that top 3, it ain't gonna work, because you have too much people to feed, too much touches to give out. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it works. It seems like you just need 2 guys,
and it seems like Oh, go.
And then it seems like it puts the pressure on that third guy because like they make it seem like he needs to be doing exactly what they're doing, but that's just not doesn't make any sense how that works.
And it also seems like since we did have a very good bench, like we led the NBA in total scoring this year, or at least
Yeah,
points per game. Like, if you're not having a good game, then you're not going to see the floor again, most likely for the rest of that game because we had such a good bench. Like, Pat Bev, like, he's not a bench guy, but he would come back in for nice long stretches. Jordan McLaughlin, he's tiny, but he's got lots of power. Or not power, but he's very good. Not very good. He's good. Solid. He does his role good. I said good too many times. Oh well. Let's see. Like Jalen Noel, he's kind of emerged, not in the series, but the season as a future like 6 man of the year type guy. Like we just had so many people on the bench that would take touches away from D'Lo if he was shooting like 1 for 6 or something like that. So the clock is definitely ticking against him, and it's unfortunate. All right, next round.
yep.
Mike. All right. Miami, Philadelphia, first Eastern semifinal. Miami wins the series 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, like I said with Jokic, you can't really do anything when your second best player doesn't show up, and James Harden was nowhere to be found in this series. And I'm pretty sure Embiid missed a game in this series as well.
I think he missed two.
Yeah, so that doesn't help either. I don't know. That doesn't help the situation at all. But on the Heat defensively, we're just too good. Jimmy Butler had a great series, and yeah, I mean, really not much to this series. I mean, it went 6, but it really didn't feel like it when James Harden's not there and Joel Embiid is somewhat missing. He missed a couple of games. It just seemed like it was pretty easy going for the Heat. They really never faced any stress in that series.
I'm pretty sure there was multiple blowouts by the Heat in the series. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, Philly is gonna have to face a decision with Harden coming up. Did not play well in the series. Hasn't really, like we've said earlier, hasn't really played well at all since he's been a Sixer. I think might not be a bad idea to maybe move him for some draft capital or something like that. Get some establishing players so that what?
What are you talking about?
Harden.
I think Harden's gonna sign for
I think he signed for a
team.
year.
I think he's signing for like team friendly, like 2-year deal.
Is he?
Because he's not worth the money that he was getting before.
No, but I think the writing is on the wall. It's time for Tyrese Maxey to kind of show what he's got as like the leader of a team. And so I think him and Embiid team up. I think that's gonna be a scary duo to go against. But yeah, I always feel like Miami is not really a team you ever really think about. Like they're just kind of down there in South Florida doing their thing, and we're all focused on like the West Coast or something like that. So they always just kind of sneak up on to like the top of the power rankings or just the Eastern Conference standings and stuff like that. I just never really think about them, even though they got a very good squad down there with Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero winning 6 man of the year, stuff like that. So got Bam, obviously. But yeah, they're just kind of down there, always sneakily good though. Is that all? All these Eastern Conference series didn't really pay too much attention to them besides the final, Eastern Conference final. But moving on, Milwaukee, Boston. This series went the distance with Boston winning in 7.
Yeah, this series was interesting. It seemed like Milwaukee really had the stronghold in this series when um they took game 1 and then they stole game 4 or game 5 or whatever. It seemed like they really had this grasp on this series, but this series is way different if Chris Middleton plays. I don't think this is even that close of a competition, but I think the Celtics probably had one of their best series in this game. This one, this is easily probably the best, one of the best they did. They showed up when it counted, and when they had their bench was, this is probably their best bench performance though. Also, in the playoffs by far, everyone showed up. They were going like 8 deep, 9 deep into their bench. They had got Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams. Those guys were firing on all cylinders for them. And then Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were just phenomenal. Marcus Smart was doing his thing. But yeah, Giannis, he's a guy that can do it all by himself with a little help, because he's not a center. He's not immobilized by any means as like a center is. He can do everything, and in games 5 and stuff, he really took control of those games. Also, he did have help from guys like Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday did play well in some parts of that series, but there was some games that he did not play well, and that showed in game 6 and game 7 when they got eliminated eventually. But yeah, no, honestly, just a great series. Got back and forth. It really felt like Milwaukee somehow had the stronghold over the series, and then Boston somehow took backdoor on them, went backdoor and took it from them.
Yeah, kind of what you were saying there. Giannis can do it himself. He is known as the Greek Freak for a reason. Back-to-back MVPs kind of shows that. So it's just unfortunate that they couldn't pull it out. I would rather see the Bucks go to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the NBA Finals, because they're a pretty cool team. It's nice to see small market teams getting some love over there. But in the end, Boston took it. They played, obviously, the better series since they won it. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, a scary duo to face. And it's kind of odd that they're both like shooting guard to power forward within that range of positions, which you usually see like the dynamic duos being like a point guard, shooting guard to a big man. So it's kind of refreshing to see that. All right, moving on to the West semis. Got number 1 Phoenix versus number 4 Dallas, and Dallas takes down the Titan. They win 4-3 in the series.
This series was fucking boring. It was just, there was no parity in the series. It was just fucking the home. It's like the home team wins a close one somewhat, or it's a blowout. It seemed like that was like the whole series. But then for the Suns to just get absolutely obliterated at home in a game 7 was just hard to watch. It's honestly embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I really don't have much to say about this series. It was fucking boring. There was nothing fun about it. There was no excitement to it. The game 7 was supposed to be exciting, and it just wasn't. They just didn't even show up.
Yeah, Luka was definitely the MVP of the series. No doubt about that. I think this series and the New Orleans series proved that Jalen Brunson, a guy that flies under the radar, deserves a pretty big size contract coming up this year. He's an unrestricted free agent, I believe.
He should only get paid about $20 million max.
I think he'll make more than that.
No, there's no chance.
I think he'll 4 years, $36 million. That's my guess.
He's gonna make $9 million a year.
Yeah, I think some team will pay
I'm saying
him
he's gonna make $20 million a year max.
There's no
chance.
I thought you meant $20 million total.
I don't know. I've heard that he's gonna get paid somewhere around $18 million a year. That's what I've heard.
New York has apparently been like one of the big people targeting him. The Knicks.
Apparently, that trade that they did last night with the Knicks did, I don't know that was stupid. Apparently, it's to free up money for guys like Jalen Brunson or maybe even Kyrie.
I've heard though, like that Tibbs doesn't like using rookies, so why bring in a rookie kind of thing?
Tibbs is a fucking idiot.
Tibbs is a good coach, but he's such a hard-nosed guy that you need to make sure you get the absolute right people for him.
He's not even that good of a coach. Like his philosophy suck.
I like defense first, but like,
well, he's an idiot when it comes to player minutes. He just plays his starters 40 minutes a night, every night, no matter what type of game it is. True. He just does not like. That's stupid. Especially when you have 2 draft picks or whatever. They had 2 draft picks and they got rid of both of them because they wanted to get rid of Kemba's contract. And for some reason, I think, I'm not totally sure how that works, but apparently they had to like give up the 2 picks.
So let's see. They had Jalen Duren that they got from the Hornets, and then they dealt him to the Pistons. And who else?
What did they even get? I don't even know what they got in return for that shit.
I think maybe a couple firsts. Maybe some seconds.
I don't know. I just know that they walked away with 0 players last night. They got rid of 3 players.
Quick side note: what do you think about Walker Kessler being the first pick? Walker Kessler and Wendell Moore.
I like Wendell Moore over Kessler. Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I mean, I guess you need something different, I guess, to maybe come off the bench, because I guess Naz Reid and Cat are like somewhat similar players when it comes to like center positions. So, I mean, you need something different when it comes to coming off the bench. You need a little bit of change. Plus, like, they do really need a defensive guy on that side of the ball or whatever.
Ever since I got my job with my dad, I've been listening to a lot more radio, especially K-Fan. And that means also listening to a lot more 9 to Noon with Paul Allen. And one of his discussions was saying we cannot rush into getting a defensive center. And I feel like we kind of fell into that trap. Because, like, I wanted to try and get AJ Griffin. That was my dude that I was hoping we would get. I know he would go pretty early, but he went like 14th.
Yeah, there was no chance we were getting him.
I feel like we could have traded up to potentially get him, but obviously it didn't happen. I feel like Walker Kessler, I mean, I'm hoping he's exactly what they say he's going to be, just a defensive dude that's going to get around the rim, because he's not taking jump shots or anything like that. He's gonna be throwing down dunks and making stuffs, but it is what it is. Wendell Moore, I like that he is a shooting guard and he'll probably come off the bench for solid minutes.
Well, the thing is that you can't even really like get too nitpicky with what you take. If you have any pick later than the lottery, you really can't be like put too much stock into it, because it's a late pick. They might not even turn out. Like, Wendell Moore might just literally never touch the floor. You never know. He might not even be on the roster. He might be in the G League. So could Walker Kessler, because
that's true.
The only guys that you know are going to make a big difference is literally just
1 through like 16. That's about it.
Not even 1 through like 10 maybe. That's how much of a wild card the NBA draft is.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to my boy though, Keegan Murray. Sucks that he got taken by the Kings, because they're probably gonna be ass again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what series were we on? Was it the Phoenix one? Yeah, Phoenix. All right. I don't even remember what I was saying. We'll move on to the Golden State Memphis series. Golden State wins again in dominating fashion, 4-2.
Obviously, Ja isn't that overrated, Brandon, if they didn't win this series without him, because they did not. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I'm surprised they took 2.
So your claim that he's overrated is literally
No, it still
horrible
holds
based off this
up.
series. No, it doesn't. Not based off this
This is a
series.
small sample size here, Jack.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's literally you're saying they're that good. They took one with him. I think they took one without him. So they lost 3 games without him and won one. That's not good.
But I think the Warriors are also just a far superior team than the Grizzlies.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like if he's overrated, if he's supposedly like not that valued, they shouldn't have been blown out or like not even given an opportunity. Or I mean not an opportunity, but they should have like at least made it a series, which I guess they did, but that's because they took one with
6
Ja.
games is kind of like that weird in between because it's kind of a series and it's kind of not.
I would say this one was not a series
No,
because
not at all.
Ja was not in the thing. So thereby he is not overrated. Your claim is literally debunked by this series. It doesn't
I don't think
hold
it
up.
is, but whatever.
It doesn't hold up. It doesn't make any sense how it can
Get
hold
on
up
to your
because
point.
that like, is my only point is that your point
That was your
doesn't
whole
hold up.
takeaway from the series.
Yeah, that because it wasn't a series. You can't really put much into a series when one of your best players is not playing. So there was no stock in it. There's nothing to this. It's that your claim doesn't make any sense, and that there's nothing to this series when their best player's out. You can't really talk to about it that much. It's not a series.
If it was not a series, I think people will still agree with my claim, but whatever. The Dylan Brooks play on Gary Payne Jr. the second, sturdy. The play by who was it on Ja? Was not.
It wasn't. He didn't even get hurt. That's not how he got hurt.
Who, Ja?
Yeah.
I think it was part of it, but
No,
it was Jordan
it wasn't.
Poole.
It was a bruise. He had a bruise contusion. He had a bruised knee. He had
that's not.
He
from,
banged knees with someone, or like he hit the floor hard. He didn't. Jordan
Yeah, that's
Poole
not
did
from
not
Jordan
bruise
Poole
him.
turning his leg a little bit. My bad.
If he would have like tore something, maybe, but he has a bruised knee, and he got all like everyone was freaking out, and it was like he bruised his knee. You can't bruise your knee based off twisting it. That is not how bruises work.
I think only the Grizzlies fans were freaking out. Everybody else was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, but still, I'm just saying that it made no
Right.
sense.
But that play on Gary Payne Jr. by Dylan Brooks solidifies him as one of my most hated players in the NBA. He's definitely one of those guys you want to have on your team because they frustrate the hell out of the other team. But otherwise, I just don't like him at all. Yeah, Golden State. When we were gonna do our predictions, NBA playoff predictions that just never came to fruition, I was gonna pick them to win the finals. It is in writing, but I do not have my notebook with me right now, so
Oh yeah,
I will send you a picture after if you want to. I know you don't care, but
no.
yeah, Golden State overpowered when they're fully healthy. That's all there is to it. Does Golden State really have a bench, or is it just their starters? Like, besides, like, I think they only go.
I mean, Jordan Poole, Gary Payton.
Do they only go like
Porter.
8 deep though?
Well, that's still pretty good for the playoffs
I guess, yeah.
because
So I
their
forget
starting
that they
lineup
shortened
was
them.
Clay, Dre, Steph, and Wiggins, and then they would put someone else
Looney.
in, like
It's probably
Looney.
kept
And then you got
Looney.
3 guys coming off the bench in Porter, with Payton, and Poole. That's pretty solid for the playoffs. Most teams
Yeah.
only go 7.
That's true.
Max.
Teams shorten up the playoffs. I forget about that. Yeah, Jordan Poole over these past like 2 years has emerged as a very valuable player. And yeah, I think if he decides to, I think he could shop around in free agency and get a decent sized payday.
He's not gonna be that. He's still under contract.
I'm saying when the time comes.
Oh, I don't think he will. He seems like a guy that would stay.
I think he will too, since they like spoiler alert, they just won the title. But yeah, I think he'll stay because like he stayed at Michigan for all those years. I don't see why that'd be any different for him to leave the Warriors and go somewhere else, but we'll see in due time. All right. Eastern Finals, Miami, 1 seed versus 2 seed Boston. And Boston takes it in 7 over the Heat.
Yeah, this series was freaking weird. Just the blowouts to start the first 4 games of the series, and then it actually like started after that. I don't know. It was kind of a weird series. Hard to like talk about just because.
Didn't it go 2-2 like to start? Like the Heat won the first 2, and then the Celtics won the second 2.
Yeah. No.
Or was it?
It was 1-1, 1-1.
Right. Wait, no, it went
Boston,
Heat, Celtics, Heat.
No, it went Heat, Celtics, Heat, Celtics, Heat, Celtics.
It's something like that. Whatever.
Yeah, but no, yes, one kind of. But I don't know. I think this series really came down to like the Celtics really locked in defensively in this series. It was crucial because, or else I think they would have their turnovers in that series would have killed them and they would have lost. But big thing is that Jimmy Butler cannot. He has his one game where he'll put up 45, but he is not a good enough and a consistent scorer to put up 45 a night. And when you have a guy like Tyler Hero, 6th man of the year, be a non-factor because of injury, half of the series, and Kyle Lowry doesn't show up, and Bam Adebayo is probably one of the most inconsistent centers in the league. Your recipe for success is not very good. They did have a lot of solid pieces on that team, Strus, Vincent, and that, but these guys are only going to play with flashes, and you don't expect them to go put up 20. If they do, it's like a gold for them. It's a team's gold to have one of their role players like that put up 20. But I don't know, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown really stepped up and took control of this series when they needed to and when they were able to. Marcus Smart, literally one of the most fearless guys I've ever seen. Is this the series he rolled his ankle?
I believe so. In game 7.
Yeah, that was
freaking
ridiculous. I don't know whatever that was. It was for him to play through that. I don't know. That's insane to me. But yeah, I don't know. Boston.
Didn't they lose 2 guys that game? Like, didn't Tatum get injured too for a moment, and then he came back out?
Yeah, it was like weird because they had 2 guys just looked like they were dead, and then all of a sudden they came back to the floor. But I don't know. It just proves that I don't know. You need 2 guys in a series. You need 2 dominant guys, and Miami just didn't have it in this series, and that's ended up being the big thing. Like I would say like the deciding factor in this series.
Yeah, at least game 7 was the game of star power, and Boston's top 2 is better than Miami's top 2, because I would take Tatum and Brown over Butler and Bam. Oh, pretty much any day, because Tatum is just so versatile, and Jaylen Brown's a good Robin to Tatum's Batman. I think. Do you think that's a good analogy, or do you think Brown is higher than that?
No, I'd say Brown's higher than that. I think Brown could literally be I think there's a chance he could end up being better than Jason Tatum.
You think so?
Yeah, he's that good. I don't think he's like the undercard to Jason Tatum. I think they're almost equal.
Okay, that's fair. It just seems like you hear more about Jason Tatum than Jaylen Brown.
Well,
he kind of flies under the radar.
He's kind of like, well, he's the top guy on that team. He was the higher overall pick. He definitely scored a lot more, but if you look at the flashes of Jaylen Brown, he is really he's so good, and he definitely gets overlooked by Jason Tatum just because Jason Tatum has that Mamba mentality and shit like that. He's a little bit
flashier. Tatum is,
yeah.
Like, he'll get those insane dunks from Jaylen Brown, but that's about all you see. You don't see the Tatum style, I guess. But I think Jimmy Butler, his championship window is closing. He hasn't won one yet, right? I don't think he has. It's definitely closing because I think the Heat are gonna keep trying to improve every year. Obviously, still got Eric Spoelstra, got Pat Riley manning the front office. I They're gonna keep being aggressive until Pat Riley retires. And I just think Jimmy Butler, he's getting a little old at this point. Bam needs to step up the scoring in this series. If he does, then they probably take it. But he just had nothing, and especially Game 7, he was awful. But it's in the past. He would love to change it if he could. He'd love to make every shot if he could, but it's just not the way basketball works. So moving on to the
Do you think Jimmy Butler's shot at the end of Game 7 was a bad shot?
Oh yeah, that was awful.
Really?
Do you think it was bad?
I think it's a good shot.
Because they were down by 3, right?
They were down by 2.
Down by 2. Yeah, no, that's a bad shot because that's just not Jimmy's game.
That's a horrible take. I'm sorry. Just saying it's not his game is horrible because if you think about it like this, there's multiple scenarios in recent years where Jimmy Butler is hitting clutch threes at the end of games, but you can't say it's not his game. That is a horrible take. I'd rather kick it out to Strus. No, that's a horrible take.
Look, if Jimmy gets himself set up, then yes, it's a fine shot. But he was on the move. He only had Al Horford to beat to the rim.
Yeah, maybe
to tie the game.
To the thing, but the thing is, when you have your star player, that's just a horrible take. I'm sorry, but your star player is got the ball and he has the chance to make the kill shot. He takes it. You have to have that trust in your top player, which they did. Because they all supported.
Well, it's not like they had a choice. He got the rebound, did he? Or he got the pass up?
Well, yeah, but no, I know that. But when your star player has the ball in his hands, you expect him to take the shot. You expect him to take that to try to close out the game.
It's just there's too much time left on the clock.
There was 10 seconds.
It was 14 seconds.
That's not that much time. And they were in transition too. Yeah, it was probably. You take the kill shot. I'm sorry. You take either way. He doesn't pass up the ball there. You don't pass up the ball there at all. I'm sorry.
I do think that you're right, that he should not pass the ball in that situation. But I think you got to take it to the rim. You're a lot faster than Al Horford.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense just because they're in the bonus too. But honestly, I understood why he took the shot. You got a chance to take the lead. You came back from down 9 points with like 2 minutes left. You had a chance to take that lead. You got the adrenaline pumping. The crowd's going crazy. Shot makes sense. It makes a ton of sense.
It makes sense when you slow it down, but in the situation, he needed to just take a deep breath before pulling the trigger, just get his feet set, everything like that.
I don't think he had a chance to get his feet set, I'm gonna be honest. I think he would have
blocked from behind.
Or he would have had it contested, but
he needed to do something, just not he rushed it a little too much is the biggest issue.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like the thing is like people are making it be like it's a horrible shot. He's wide open. That's not a bad shot. If he was contested, it's totally different, but he is wide open. Wide open. And yeah, you can say it's not his game, but that's still a bad take because star players, they take that shot. Star players have the confidence in themselves to take that shot and hit that shot. So that's why I think it was a smart shot, in my opinion. I think it was a smart shot. But it just didn't go down. And if you have your teammates, if your teammates got your back in that scenario and they respect the shot, then you take it. If you have the confidence of your team and your coach behind you, like he does, you take that shot all day long.
But you're also not standing up to Jimmy Butler in the locker room afterwards. But
imagine if that was freaking. I mean, Tyler Hero might be the other person, but. If Max Strus would have done that, I know he's a lockdown shooter, but if someone else is wide open or they have a chance, like one of their guys took that shot, that he's getting bitched out. The only person in that scenario besides Jimmy Butler that should have taken that shot or would have took that shot is Tyler Hero. That's it. The only person that should.
I'm still going with that. You should have slowed it down at least a little bit, but it's.
Yeah, but it's like you have no idea though. In that time, you have it's split second. Like that's
right. Yeah.
That's impossible to like be like,
Like
oh,
it means nothing that I'm sitting here being like, oh yeah, he should slow it down. Like it means nothing. Jimmy Butler doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of time, but that's just what I'm thinking
I
right
just
now.
don't think he would have had the time to slow down.
Also, things would have definitely changed if New York didn't mess up the Max Drews 3 call. Like on that
That was
replay,
horrible. That was horrible.
that like then it's also a totally different ball game because they're up by 1 in that situation.
If they're up by 1, I guarantee he doesn't take that shot.
Oh, if he does, then he's absolutely stupid.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be stupid, but he doesn't take that shot. He knows that he's down by 2. You take that kill shot. Try to end this game. Whenever you have a chance to end the game, you end the game. You don't try to keep pushing along, because I think if the Heat would have gone to overtime in that game, they would have probably lost, because they put all that energy into that comeback, and they would have lost all their momentum. I don't know. I just think that I think it was. I understand why
it's an acceptable shot, but I think the right play still would have been to drive on Al Horford, 1-on-1.
I don't know. I don't question star players. I never do.
I do sometimes. I do a lot of times.
That's a problem.
How's that?
I never question it. I never question what a star player does, unless it's like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Then I would. But if it's just like anything like that, a wide open shot, I'm not questioning it. I'm not going to question what a star player does. Like if LeBron James takes that shot, or like anyone, like if Jaylen Brown takes that shot, I'm not questioning it. He's not even the top player on his team. I'm not questioning it. I'm never questioning the star player with what they do.
Okay.
Never. Especially if it's like that scenario, or like they're
Well,
making
it's not a star
decision.
player. Then are you questioning them?
Yeah, of course I am. That's not their situation to take that shot. If they hit it, great, but they're not in there. It's not their position. It's not their job to take that shot. That's not what they're getting paid for. That's not their role. Star players take the kill shot, and sometimes it doesn't fire. And obviously in this scenario it didn't. But I don't know. I think he was very heavily criticized for it. Way too much. There was no need for him to get criticized that much for it.
It was the highlight of a very fascinating game. I
think the only reason why people question it is because there was like 14 seconds left. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could set up the offense maybe a little bit, but if there's 8 seconds on the clock, there should be no reason why he's getting scrutinized for it at all.
Oh yeah, right. But if you got half the shot clock, then you gotta use it. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
I still think I don't think he should have been scrutinized for it as much as he did.
Right. And it's definitely something that I might need to look back on just to make sure all my facts and stuff are right. And I still agree with the take I'm presenting. But moving on to the Western Conference Finals, another boring series. Golden State steamrolls the Mavericks 4-1.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about here.
Warriors are good. Mavericks didn't show up. That's about it. Warriors could have swept, but then they got blown out in game 4. So
every team has that 1 game where they'll take one.
Every single playoff, I think, had at least one blowout, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, actually.
Well, yeah, especially when you expect it to be a somewhat decent series. Like you have Dallas coming off a high and beating Phoenix in 7 games with a blowout.
Honest, that was easy to see that happening, though.
Yeah, Phoenix, I mean, they didn't even have Devin Booker for like half a series, right? So
no, I mean, I was talking about like the Mavericks not showing up. I feel like I feel like that was pretty obvious to happen.
Yeah. Golden State was just too good throughout these playoffs. Getting all their key players back was really big for them. And then moving on to the NBA Finals, not final, like the Stanley Cup final, which is. Did you notice that, Jack?
What?
That the NHL calls it the Stanley Cup final, not finals.
Yeah, well, I don't know why that's.
Isn't it the finals? I guess it's. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I mean, If anything, it should be called the finale, so that's why they call it final.
The finale.
Yeah, because it's the finale of the playoffs.
Yeah, I know that. Welcome to the NBA finale.
Well, that would never work. But
Welcome to the Stanley Cup finale. All right, yeah, Golden State, Celtics, not Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals, quest for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Golden State. This was also honestly kind of a boring series, don't you think?
no, this is I think it was entertaining.
It was decently entertaining. Game 1 and I think game 4 or 5 was entertaining. Otherwise, I feel like the Warriors were just the better team throughout. Warriors winning 4-2.
I think there was a blowout, but in the one game, but you can't really do much.
There was
about
blowouts
that.
in 2 games because game 1, the Celtics reverse blew out the Warriors because they came back in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and then it was game 2. The first 2 games were bad.
Yeah,
I would say, and then after that it was fine. But yeah, I don't know. I fucking hate the Warriors. I fucking hate them. No, who actually wants to see them keep winning? This is not fucking fun. I don't enjoy this. No one should enjoy.
So
watching
are you saying if you grew up in the 90s, you would hate the Bulls?
No, but the thing is also they don't have
the same thing.
You could say it's the same, but the thing is that I wouldn't say that the Bulls had a player that people hated that much though. The Warriors have one of the most hated player in the NBA. Draymond is a fucking bitch. I fucking hate that guy.
Is that the guy you're talking about though, right?
Yes, yeah. Draymond is fucking annoying as shit too. And I don't he is so I just hate how he thinks he's fucking God, and he's just not. He is the 4th best player on his team. He was horrible until the game 5 and 6. Horrible. And he still had the audacity to just keep yapping his mouth he does. But I don't know. Good for Curry to get his Finals MVP finally, and Wiggins I guess won. But I don't know. I feel like the reason why this dynasty is way different is because how much this team has changed over the time. The Bulls didn't really change much. They had their core. I mean, I guess they did have Dennis for the last 3.
They changed. But that's between each title, basically, yeah.
Yeah, the Warriors did. They had the original 3, and then they had.
I mean, the Bulls.
KD. Huh?
The Bulls changed. Each 3 years, the team reset, basically.
Well, yeah, but they still had. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that, but there was guys that they still had the whole time. Obviously the thing is there was 2 years of separation. I guess the Warriors did too, but. The thing is, they brought in their team was way different. I don't know. Well, I'm just saying I fucking hate Draymond, so that's a big difference. But
yeah,
I don't know. The thing is that the reason why it's so easily hateable is because KD joining that team was fucking pissed me the fuck off, and a lot of people. Just like it pissed a lot of people off when LeBron went to Miami, which that was douchey too. But I don't know. I still don't think people should compare the Warriors to the 96 Bulls, the 90s Bulls.
No, I agree.
They should not be compared at all. But yeah, because the thing is that you would say the 90s Bulls, they only had the 2 superstars or the 2 stars in Jordan and Pippen. Rodman is probably one of the better guys they brought along for the journey, but he's not a superstar like KD was when he joined the Warriors.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate the Warriors, is because I think they had 2 cupcake finals, 2 cupcake championships with KD.
Well, that's just because LeBron is too good and brought the bad Cavs back to the finals.
I don't even think there was a team that would have competed. I don't think there was a team that would have competed with the KD and the Warriors.
I don't remember.
Well, neither do I. Well, it was the Celtics were in the conference final when. 1 year, and then they went to 7 with the Cavs, and then you had then the that was the time when the Raptors were really good and they got beat. But I don't know. It's just they haven't. I don't know. They never really sold me. Like this is easily their best championship out of the four because this team is nowhere near as good as 2015 and in the KD years. Nowhere near as good because obviously Wiggins is good, but
Clay was so
Andre,
bad.
huh?
Clay was awful this series. It was
Yeah,
not
that's
his normal
what I'm saying.
self.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Clay was really good in the 15, and so was Draymond, and so was Curry, and Iguodala was insane in that series.
Laser beam pointer.
But yeah, but also I want to like say say stuff about the Celtics also because their lack of experience and like those like gritty like parts of like the playoffs showed. Like they somehow snuck their way through in the finals and they did not deserve to be there because their turnovers were horrible.
Jason Tatum is a turnover machine. Holy cow.
I think this playoff run by Jason Tatum might be one of the most overrated of all time. I think the first series and parts of the second series and then the third series, I think that really got people talking about how good he is. But when you look at the stats and like the 100 turnovers over 4 series, that's insane. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, dude turned the ball over average of 25 times in 4 playoff series. Yeah. That's horrible. Easily one of the most overrated playoff performances ever. Like he's gonna get looked at as like all emerging star and stuff, but 100 turnovers is absolutely ridiculous.
It also seemed like Marcus Smart wasn't really a factor too much, I would say. Like it seems like he was probably a factor on Clay, but like Curry was just kind of scoring at will.
Yeah, he did not bring it defensively like I thought he would have in this series against Curry. I thought he would have flustered him because that's what it seems like he needed to do against Curry, and he just didn't. I don't know. They also just let the Warriors do whatever they want by switching pick and rolls and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let Al Horford guard Curry for a whole possession. Al Horford, like the guy, but you just can't let him do that if you want a chance to win.
That's not his thing. But like honestly, like credit to like guys like Robert Williams, even Jaylen Brown too, because Jaylen Brown played incredible the whole playoffs. He was better than Jason Tatum in my opinion.
Robert Williams is one of my new favorite players I have never heard of. He is awesome. He is cool.
He's sick. He's literally he's probably like one of the best defensive bigs I've ever seen. Like he is everywhere. He kind of reminds me of like Ben Wallace.
That's what I was gonna say. He's a Ben Wallace type where he can't do anything really offensively besides dunk, but he's this shorter center guy and he's just swatting balls into the
It's insane.
Row.
It's absolutely insane. But like also like Ime Udoka, like he is a like very solid coach and like credit to Brad Stevens for like taking the step into the GM spot and doing a good job there. But finding a guy like him, like a good coach like that, is hard. It's hard to do, especially in a first year going to the finals.
Especially after coming right after Brad Stevens.
Yeah, Brad Stevens is a great coach too. So I don't know. Like it wasn't really like unexpected for the Warriors to win because they had the experience and stuff. But I don't see them this happening again. I think the Warriors are done. I think they got really lucky having to face Dallas in the playoffs. Like if you look at their playoff run, it was kind of just like a cakewalk.
Yeah, injured Memphis.
Nuggets. The Nuggets really had nothing.
Right.
And then Mavs didn't even make it a series. So their toughest test was the Celtics. And the Celtics just didn't really show up in the series either. They showed up in game 1 and then they didn't really play that well. I don't know. It was impressive what the Warriors did with this team, but I feel like they did not play anyone that good until the finals. It was like a cakewalk. Like they didn't have to play Phoenix. They didn't have to face which I would say the Bucks, who are the best team in the East still. They didn't have to play them. They got away with that. So
I still think they make it to the finals, though they do play Phoenix in the conference finals. I think they do.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Because
I
I
don't know.
think Curry, he was just on something this year.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that that's the thing is that I think the Phoenix would have gave him a series. I
Yes,
just didn't
I
know.
think it would have been
The
a
Warriors
6
didn't
or
have to
7
face.
game series,
They
but
didn't have
I
to
still
face any
think the Warriors
adversity
won.
is the problem.
Right.
So it was hard to tell because they didn't face any adversity until the finals, and it looked like Boston had a really good chance and they were up 2-1, and then they just couldn't put a game together after that. Oh,
Right.
just a bad showing. But I just fucking hate the Warriors. It's just like no one wants to see them win. Who wants to see them win anymore? Like, it's not. I hate dynasties. Dynasties are just not fun to watch unless it's your team. Because like, I'm just not a fan of back-to-back champions. It's like I want to see someone new. Like I want to see the Bucks go back. I would have loved to see the Bucks go back-to-back because they don't have a guy on their team that's hateable, or they don't have that. They haven't had this reign of success for a long time.
Right.
I don't know. Dynasties are just not needed in sports. They're not needed. No one asks for them. No one wants them. And they happen way too much. You got the Patriots.
They can be sick.
The Warriors
They can be pretty sick at points. Like if there was a team that was like the 80s Islanders for Pete, that'd be very impressive to see. And I wouldn't mind seeing that in my lifetime. Something like that.
See, and I think the bad thing about the Warriors dynasty is I think it gets overrated. Like
it does.
Yeah, they won 4 championships in 8 years, but they only won
the Cavaliers
2
4
back
times.
Yeah, they only won 2 back to back.
It would have been 4. It would have been 4 if LeBron didn't turn it on.
Yeah, if they didn't have that great series, yes, it would have been 4 in a row. But they still didn't have that three-peat. Like they didn't have like I wouldn't say they really had an iconic stretch in their dynasty. I wouldn't say they had an iconic stretch.
It would be from 14 to like 17.
It would have to be the 3 and 4 years.
Yeah.
That'd be like the iconic stretch. But the thing is, it's not that iconic when you bring in a superstar and make it and easily walk through the finals.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really iconic. So then it's not iconic like the Bulls three-peats were. The Bulls three-peats were iconic because you have Jordan win 3, retire, walk away from the game of basketball for 2 years, and then come back and win 3 more. Like those are iconic. Like the thing, Warriors don't have that iconic moment or that iconic part to their dynasty. It's just kind of like, they have a little bit of success here, and then that's it.
Right. The most iconic parts of their dynasty is the years they didn't win when LeBron and the Cavs came back from 3-1 down, obviously in 2016, and then when Kawhi brought a championship to Toronto in 2019. Those are probably...
And the thing that I think hurts their dynasty too is these 2 horrible years. Like, I understand it was injuries and all, but like, if you're that good of a team, like, I know it, like, I guess the 1 year has Curry been injured like the last 2 years before this?
I believe so, because 2020 bubble year, they got eliminated in the play-in game because Clay was still out. I think Draymond and Curry were both dealing with injuries, but I'm not positive. And then obviously the next year was the James Wiseman year where they just put in all their rookies because nobody was healthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like say like, oh, that kind of wrecks their dynasty, but it does. Like, you can't control injuries, but it's like they had 2 dull years and then they came back and won a championship, which I would say that's their iconic moment, is being able to come back from those 2 dull years and then win a title. But I just don't think that this team, like, I think that there's way better teams in this league, and I just think the reason why is because they're too young. There's some teams that are just too young. They don't have the experience like the Warriors do. They don't have the coaching like the Warriors do. And I think after this year, I think you're going to see the Warriors start to like downfall. I think they're going to hit a massive downfall in the next couple of years.
Do you think,
not just because Curry's getting older and stuff, but just because I don't think they're that good. I think they're good because the competition in the NBA is just not as good as them.
Is Steve Kerr a good coach, or is it just a product of good players?
No, it's definitely coaching because I would say the first title and this title is coaching. I would say that the ones with KD is not coaching. Like, that's a super team, bro. You can't. That's almost undeniable. Like those 2 teams, those 2 years were insane. That team was ridiculous. So I would say no. I would say he's a good coach because that 2015 team, that Warriors team, they kind of just came out of nowhere. Like this was a team that really people didn't know much about, and they kind of just flew into the water. And the Cavs, the big bad Cavs with LeBron were there, and yeah, I don't know. I think Steve Kerr is a great coach, and he gets a lot out of his players and what he wants out of his players, and he gets that out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just unfortunate that also these Warriors titles have a lot to, or at least this one has a lot to do with the Timberwolves, but we really don't need to get into that one too much.
Dude, their whole entire championships have to do with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they're not a team. They're nothing without Steph Curry. So
thank you, Danny Ainge.
Why?
I'm pretty sure he was the GM at the time.
He was our GM.
He was our GM.
Oh fuck!
He kind of ruined the 2000s Timberwolves after the 04 playoff of Western Conference Finals appearance.
Yeah, I don't know, but
overall, pretty good season. Pretty good 75th NBA season. Looking forward to next year, obviously. Or I guess not obviously, but at the time of recording this, the draft was last night. So maybe I'll get an episode out about that. We'll see. We'll see. You got anything else?
No. Kind of a dud of a year for the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs weren't great, but oh well. It's always good to see more basketball. Not a bad thing. I guess one last thing. Shout out to my boy Nick at Teach TTV, Twitch TV. Go check him out. Very low key, casual streamer, but he does a good job. Just go in there, hang out, plays a variety of games. You want to watch some MLB, the show, he plays that. High kills in Fortnite, he does that. Just plays around quite a bit. Big supporter of the channel or of the podcast, so I feel like I gotta shout him out. He'll be on the podcast sometime soon, so you'll get to hear him all then. But in the meantime, go check him out. Go support him. Give him some love.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't got much else to say about anything. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us here at Certified Beef.
Next week, hopefully big week. Big
Yep,
cast.
big
Let's
week
hope.
coming up. But that's gonna do it for us here at Certified Beef. Peace.
Go Abs.